This conference will now be recorded.
All set, Bill.
Okay, great. We have another caller in.
It's Ted.
Oh, great. Ted, yay.
Great.
Okay, the time being 7:01 p.m., I'd like to call the December 2nd, 2020 Budget Committee meeting. We will be working on the GoToMeeting platform only, and due to the COVID-19 restrictions, the public is encouraged to participate remotely with GoToMeeting using your smartphone, tablet, or computer at https://www.gotomeet.me/town of hyphen Tilton /budget dot. You can also dial in using your telephone toll free at 1-877-309-2073, code 689-470-829. If you have any difficulties, please email web@tiltonnh.org. We could start with a roll call attendance. I'm Bill Lawrence, Chair.
What was the second one?
Dick Olson.
Thank you, Dick.
Yep.
John Scanlon.
Peter Gargano.
Catherine Dawson.
All set. Thank you.
Ted?
Yes, I said my name after John.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, I didn't hear you. Do we need to mention if we have people with us or not?
I have it in the minutes. I mean, certainly, feel free to. Yeah, sure.
Pat
So, I mean, there's someone in the next room, but
Oh, you mean, oh, I see what
they're
you're
not
saying.
really present. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if that, why that's necessary, but, it's all recorded.
Okay. Yeah.
It's
Okay,
required
and
by.
then we have Pat Costantino.
What was that? Did someone say
And we have
something?
Pat Costantino and Tim Pearson here too.
Yep. Alternate.
John Scanlon, I am alone.
Catherine Dawson, I'm alone.
Tim Pearson, I'm alone, and it's per RSA or governor's orders.
Okay, thank
Now,
you.
Part 91A, Section 2, Paragraph 3.
Theodore here. I'm alone.
Dick Olson, I'm here in jamming.
Okay, thank you. We will suspend the Pledge of Allegiance for tonight because of not having a flag right here. We could review the minutes of November 18th.
I got a flag.
Okay. Not everyone can see that.
I thought you said voting, my bad.
Yeah. I move we accept the minutes of November 18th, 2020 for discussion purposes.
I second that. Did we get that second?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes, thank you.
It's got awkwardly quiet. I was like, oh man.
I know on page 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines down of the in between spaces, you had K. Dawson asked to anyone who achieved the XYZ
I-
license, which didn't you mean like, is that an herbicide license?
Yep. I sent the minutes out before
Ask Kevin.
with her. Fertilizer, pesticide, herbicide license. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, great. And then a little further down, it had Kate about mid-page. It says K. Dawson asked about street lighting. Is it Eversource? And then I couldn't really understand what it says. K. Duval responded that no, it is not the town. Does that mean that the town doesn't?
Yeah, that the town isn't
Oh.
responsible. I can make that clearer. I think what he was saying was it's not the town's responsibility, it's Eversource's. Catherine, do you agree
For
with
the
that?
lighting?
For the lighting, correct. For the street lighting.
So we just pay them and they take care of the lighting, right?
I have no idea.
Okay,
Correct.
Tim's,
Yes.
okay. And then the last line on that page, we had another question mark light pole.
On the last page, on the last sentence?
Last sentence of that page. There's a question mark light pole.
Right. It was at a specific location. Something, maybe something, it was an intersection that was mentioned.
Okay.
Catherine, do you recall the question you were having with?
I don't have a copy of the minutes in front of me.
Okay, so it was a time when Kevin DeVal asked about a light pole, and he said, I don't know if that's ever worked. And your response was that an assessment was being made and something about an underground conduit that was making it short out. What was the location of that light pole?
He was talking about Riverfront Park.
Okay,
Okay, the one that,
Yeah.
What are we-
And why they're shorting.
okay. Has everybody been able to look at the minutes?
I don't have the minutes. I have November 4th.
Janice, did you say something? I can't hear you.
Yeah, you're muted, Janice.
yep, okay, sorry about that. Catherine, I sent them out yesterday, December 1st, in an email.
Funny. Oh, I found them. Thank you.
I
Okay.
just emailed you a copy too, Catherine. I don't know if
Oh, awesome. Thank you. Now I found them.
Bill, did you have anything else, or I will stop on page 3?
No, I didn't. I was asking if anybody else had any input in the minutes.
Okay, on page 2, the bottom, the whole Kevin Duval asked about the light pole and if it ever worked. an assessment isn't being made. We have the electrician in the park working on light poles, but we haven't asked them specifically to look at that because we were told in the past that there may be a break in the underground conduit and water is seeping in, which is causing the short. So that's
So-
as far as we went.
Okay, so an assessment is not being made,
No, repair work is being done.
okay?
Is this affecting the budget? This repair work, or do we line item?
Not this year, but it might next year
Okay.
because we'll have to do something about that underground conduit.
Okay, and Catherine, so is it safe to say Catherine K. Dawson said the repair work is being done and in what? That it may be an underground conduit that is making it short out? Just
Said
take that
that.
out. Take it out?
That repair work is being done.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that for me, please?
So repair work is being done in the park on light poles, plural,
Yeah.
period.
Okay,
And I would leave the rest out.
okay,
It's redundant.
all right.
I'm good with the rest of them.
Okay,
Are we ready to vote? Vote on the minutes
I am.
with corrections? I vote aye. Bill Lawrence votes aye.
yeah, I'm sorry, was there a motion?
Yeah, had a motion to accept the minutes, and
Or
we're
discussion?
accepting the minutes with corrections.
Okay, with corrections, okay.
And we have a second, Dick.
Okay.
And I voted aye.
I'm
I'll
abstaining.
yeah.
Scanlon,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah.
Scanlon, yeah.
Dick?
Abstaining.
Abstaining.
Yep.
Who did I miss? It's it, four of us.
Ed?
Oh, Ted, yeah.
Yes, I said yes. John and I think, said it at the same time.
Okay, thank you.
And there's another is there someone else present with a J?
That's Jeannie.
Okay. All right,
Forrester.
great.
If I could make a suggestion, Bill, just something I've seen done on other boards is that they'll oftentimes go right down in a set order when voting. So your attendees, you can go down whether you do it in alphabetical or otherwise. If you have a little list in front of you, and you just ask each one, it goes a lot smoother.
I'll just call the names. Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Thank you.
Okay. Tim, did you think you didn't have too much for the finance report? Unless we had questions for you?
Right. Yeah, I'm happy to review anything you'd like to go through, answer questions or otherwise. At this point, I don't have anything specific tonight. To review.
I had a couple of questions about the transition of the police station. We saw we had a for sale sign out there. Have we had any offers, and do we have an expected? I know I've been talking about a little bit between everything from when we're moving into the new PD to when we're selling the old one and getting that off and on the tax roll again.
Sure. So we did list it, and we had some interest, and in fact came to an agreement with a buyer, and we have it under contract currently. The closing is set to occur at a time after when we should be in the new building. and they're flexible as to moving that up, so that that we should be able to make it coincide pretty much with our shortly after our move is complete.
Awesome. Okay, cool. So it's actually going to eliminate. Do we have like an estimated within like a month, or do we have a window where they're trying to plan, or do we not have a plan for the transition? For
Well,
how
no.
long?
Well, no, we do have we have plans. We're waiting on our construction manager for the date of occupancy. We have a lot of plans that range from the physical moving of things to technology, turning things on and off, and that sort of thing. So there are a lot of moving parts to it, but until we have a solid planning date as to when we might have an occupancy permit, it's going to be kind of tough. We will be doing some things. We can do some things prior to that. It's just we can't operate out of the building until we have that permit.
So that's basically our key to really figure out the whole timeline and how long everything is. As soon as we have that permit, we'll know that.
Well, I mean, really, what I think we're looking for is the completion date, and then so shortly after the completion date, or coinciding with it, I would think we would have the occupancy permit. But prior to that, you know, we have things identified that can be moved into certain areas, and there's certain types of components that have to be set up prior to us getting in, so that the whole dispatch area needs to be all up and running prior to you know, cutting over, so that we go from one functioning dispatch to a second functioning dispatch, that sort of thing. So we have some plans. They're not all completely worked out, but we're working on it.
All right. Thank you so much.
We're going to meet with the police department in 2 weeks, so that maybe we'll know more then.
Yeah, things are evolving, so.
I did the salary in the budget committee is. Are we getting big raises?
Well, now that you mention it, so let's see here. Go up to
It's
that.
at 6,000 for department request, 6,200.
Right. So what that includes is that's both the stipends for the budget committee, as well as the secretarial pay for the budget committee. So
Okay.
so the stipends are $400 a piece, and I'll have to check. Just a number. We have a quantity of 7 right now budgeted, because theoretically, actually I think 6 budgeted, because the ex officio wouldn't be receiving a stipend for the budget committee, but your Lockmere representative could, if you had one. So.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
So does anyone else have anything for Tim? Do we have any public comment?
Spend
Okay, hearing none. Thanks, Tim. We can move on to the outside agencies. And I can try to go through this chart that I made to understand, just to kind of review what we're looking at with these agencies. How's that sound?
Good.
Okay, so the chart that I made starts with, on the left, assets over liabilities, and that was like current assets. It's not fixed assets over the current liabilities. Next column was COVID grants. Then we had the budget revenues, then budget expenses. Then the next column had the year-to-date revenues over the expenses. Then the next column was the total budget requests. And depending on if they had the current date or last year's date. And then the town, their town request. So for new beginnings, the assets over liabilities, they had 623,000 in assets, and their liabilities were 442,000. In the COVID column, they were awarded 66,000, but apparently, according to their addendum sheet, they're going to return 60,000. Their budget revenues in 2018, they had $484,559. In 2019, the revenues were $801,150. And I actually don't know if I have those budget expenses, but for 2021, their budget expenses were going to be $654,900, 901. So it looks like that their revenues for 2021 would also be around 801,000, and their expenses were 654,000. But the year-to-date revenue over expenses was 484,000 revenue over 498 expenses. And their total budget request in 2020, I believe, was 476,101, and the 2021 request is 289,000. So it seems that their budget requests are going up quite a bit. And it looks like revenues, and I think maybe that revenue is a lot more government grants. I'm not sure if it's COVID or not. And of course, it was unclear of why they're returning 60,000 out of the 66. Anybody have a comment on that, or?
I don't know.
We already voted at the beginning. Are we re-addressing all of these?
I'm sorry, Catherine, I couldn't hear you.
We voted no on new beginnings on the 18th. Are we looking at all of these all over again?
Okay, so I'm sorry, I forgot that we voted that again, down that. Okay, so then we voted on the VNA, so we can skip that. So the next one is Lakes Region Mental Health. And their assets are 6,718,490 over liabilities of 2,406,831. They received 1,687,500 in PPP. And did we vote that down too?
I don't think we did.
Yeah.
I thought we voted on it, but I don't remember.
We voted on that when I was here, I thought.
I don't have a motion on that one, no.
Well, it seems to me that in their actual budget revenues were about 400,000 more than what they budgeted for. And although their actual budget expenses were 250,000 more, I think they seem to be in pretty good shape, especially with that kind of COVID. I would make a motion that we suspend, not pay them the 3,000 this year.
Second.
Any discussion on that?
I 100% agree with that. That's a good statement. They don't need the money. Let's not give it to them.
Was that a yes? A yes vote?
No, that's
Well,
discussion.
we're not voting yet. We're just discussing.
Oh, okay.
You shouldn't give them any money. They have enough.
I swear we voted on this about a month or two ago.
We did. We did.
Okay, well, let's vote now then. I will vote affirmative to not give them money this year. Next, we'll go to Catherine.
Dawson, yes.
Next, Dick Olson,
Yes.
John Scanlon,
Yes.
and Ted Gargano.
No.
Okay, so we have, looks like it's 4-1. The motion would pass.
Thank you.
Okay. So if we move on, there's CASA, which as far as I could see has current assets at $2,862,625, and their liabilities are $162,000. They received $334,000 in COVID money. Their budget in 2019 was $668,834 revenue, and their budget expenses were $589,119. And in 2020, their revenue budget was $2,957,139, and their budget expenses were $3,014,659. And their current year-to-date revenues over expenses was $360,087 revenue and $121,463 in expenses. I mean, I'm really confused at that. Does anyone remember the speaker talking about that?
Trying to read the meeting minutes. Meeting minutes from that day, actually, right now.
I'm wondering if because there's so much court, they do a lot of court work, and they're probably not doing that because of COVID.
Ted, I'm having a hard time understanding you. Could you speak up, please?
That wasn't me. That was Dick, I believe.
Oh, sorry, Dick.
Not me. It's not me. I think that's John Scanlon.
Is it John?
No, my mic has been muted.
I don't know who you're talking about. Maybe it's Ghost.
Is there-
I don't know.
Was there someone else that were making a comment? Are you saying something, Tim? Because we can't hear you.
Can't hear anything.
Can't hear you, Tim.
Sorry, I have a mute button on my pod here as well. That was coming from the noise, background noise from Catherine Dawson's phone.
Oh, okay.
So for CASA, if I'm reading this right, that 1,500 that they requested will help pay for volunteer work that will assist approximately 3 children. They're here in the minutes from October.
You're coming in and out, Ted.
Yeah, lean a
Better
little
now?
more towards your mic there, Ted. Yeah, okay, that's better.
As I'm reading right here from the minutes of October 7th, 2020, CASA did state that she went on to say that they are requesting 1,500, which will pay for volunteer that will assist approximately 3 children. They did see a sharp decrease at the beginning of COVID-19 pandemic, but it has been picking up now, and they are back in school. They will work with law enforcement and volunteers who are working with children ongoing.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Anybody want to make a motion on CASA?
I'll make a motion we
Deb?
don't fund this year.
What was it?
Oh, what was that?
Catherine Dawson made a motion to not fund CASA this year.
Did you say something, Dick?
Yes, second by Dick Olson.
Okay.
Lag going on.
Okay, so discussion.
No one
CASA
needs.
is federally funded, correct?
Yep. They're getting money from everywhere.
Yeah, they get a huge. Their assets are $2,862,000. That their liabilities right now are only $162,000. So they certainly have enough assets to and that's current assets. It's not fixed.
That's good. Cut the fat. Let's save the good people of Tilton some money.
It's I see a lot of these organizations. I think they just want us to own and to understand their process in our community, and that's very important. And they're all they do such great jobs. I'm just thinking this year there's so much federal money out there that in a lot of these cases, and most of them say anyways every season that if we don't fund them, their programs will continue. And I'm thinking in the sense of this one too, that they would be really not inhibited by us not funding them this year.
No, I agree. I mean, it's $1,500, correct? I mean, I'm right there with you.
Right. So I'll bring it to a vote. I will vote. The motion is to not fund this year. I will vote yes. Catherine?
Dawson, yes.
Dick?
Yes.
John Scanlon?
Yes.
Ted?
Yes.
Okay, that's an affirmative. Okay, so the next is Community Action Program. And what I have here for their current assets would be 23 million. This must be the greater cap program, 464,332. Their liabilities are 22,854,499. They apparently got 1 million $935,300 in COVID. Their local budget was 2019. It was 152,312. 2020, their budget was $200,132. In 2021, they're asking for $236,382. And out of that 236 and 382 dollars, the town's share is 108,290. Their current revenue over expenses year to date, they've got 49,896 revenue, and their expenses are 39,358. My only gripe, I think they're a great program, but we pay more than any other town. I mean, Samberton gets 70% of the value that we get, and they pay 20%. Guilford gets more than we get, and they pay less than we do. I'm just thinking it's, again, we're looking for equitability from towns.
One thing to add to that, when they came to give us the speech, if we did not give that funding, would it hurt their services? Would it stop their services? Did anyone ask that?
I'm not 100% sure, but I believe they do help out with Meals on Wheels for the senior center.
Did anyone ask that question? Back to the question, did anyone ask it would affect their services if we did not fund them?
They usually try to find a way to make it work. I'm not sure if they were doing Meals on Wheels this year.
Did anyone ask that question about that? Or
yes, they did.
What was your answer to that? It wouldn't affect.
I have to get our minutes.
It was just like the year before, they said it would not affect their services. So I'm assuming they have the same answer unless something else changed. But last year, they said if we funded them at zero, it would not affect their services. So let's see. I wonder if it would. Because we did pay almost double any other town before. So.
Bill, if you're not in a motion, may I say something?
Sure.
Even
Go
though,
ahead, Pat.
okay, in CAP, in the recent events in the last year or so, it's changed considerably in the area. In CAP, recently last year closed because of financials, closed the Belmont Senior Center. They cut considerably the Franklin Senior Center, the Franklin Trip Center hours and staff. They cut down hours and staff at the Laconia Tilton, the Laconia Senior Center, including meals, which is hours and staffing. And if we cut hours, a lot of those people right now are without. So the busing and everything in the Belmont is without right now. And I'm afraid if you do cut any more, when Bill was speaking, he said the town share is 108,200, and that I believe is incorrect. They're asking for $12,000. That $12,000, if you cut that, I'm really, really, really afraid that it's going to affect our program director at the Tilton Senior Center, which now serves Samberton, Northfield, and Tilton considerably, along with some people from Belmont. And it's not just the other towns that we're serving, it's the networking, the meals that they're providing, and the hours of communication and networking that are going on. It's not just about coming in, picking up a meal. It's learning that they need much more than that. They might need care. They might need visiting nurses. They might need help from the service leak. They direct those needs, and that's what's very, very, very crucial. A couple of years ago, we had a senior that came in that really needed something a little bit more than what we could give them in the senior center, and CAP was able to help that. If that person didn't come to the senior center, we would not have ever known about the crucial needs of this person that lived in Tilton. CAP is right now our backbone to our, I would say, a direct conduit to our seniors.
Didn't they say it would not affect their services?
They did say it would affect our services, Dick.
Here, they said it didn't, Pat. We had this big
Last year was very different, Dick. Our last year, the financial situation and the COVID and the staffing, they've cut considerably. I can't hear what you're saying.
Well, they shouldn't need our money this year.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Yes, I look at the amount they were asking for, and CAP is responsible for paying our director of our senior center there. Presently, there's a lot of seniors as well as other people in town that are of low income that are having a lot of difficulty. The senior center, they provide for not only just for seniors, but people with disabilities. They bring meals to them. A lot of these people, because of things, they're shut-ins, and they're the only contact that they have with the public. Then presently what happens is they go out to these people's houses and they check on them and they make phone calls and make sure they're okay, and if not, contact their loved ones or other services, the police department, to do wellness checks. One of the other things they do is fuel assistance. They are the people who actually encourage people to receive fuel assistance, which doesn't cost us any money. But they go out and they also go to the people's houses to help them fill out the forms and apply for this fuel assistance. A lot of people don't realize how they can do it or anything. And if they don't get the fuel assistance, it falls back onto the town to pay for these bills, for that. So, as well as distribution of the commodity foods, they organize that and get that out there. And it's one of these things that if we don't pay them that, it's going to fall back onto the town in the way of welfare
I don't think
payment.
that's because last year they said it wouldn't affect their services to a great deal. They said they would have to cut back hours at worst case scenario, but they said it wasn't guaranteed. That's what they said last year. And we end up cutting them back from, remember, we were paying more than double than any other town, and we're still paying more than any other town, I believe. They're a big company. They're not some small little branch. This branch might be, but they can still organize fund within their giant organization. They can afford to not have our $12,000. They're saying they can't, but if they are, I just don't believe it, because they're not saying that directly. Last year they didn't say it would affect their services directly. This year it doesn't seem like anyone's giving me a straightforward answer about that. It was the same thing as last year. I guess no one asked the question. Maybe we should ask them the question: how much would it affect their services if we didn't fund it? How would this affect the bottom line? Because we never get a straightforward answer. Last year we kept getting mixed match stuff. It was a whole knockout, drag out fight because we were paying more than every other town. So, and we spent many late nights. I know Billy knows, and everybody that was here on the board knows. So we spent many late nights fighting over this, and it just seems silly that we're doing the same thing again this year. I don't want to keep doing that. So I think we should vote. I put a motion up to vote to not fund this for anybody. See what goes. There's a motion.
What is the motion? What is it? I can't hear it.
Fund cap for $0. Did you not hear any of that?
Did you say 0?
Yes.
Okay, is there a second for that? Okay, not hearing that. any second. We're going to move on. Is there someone else that has joined the group that needs to speak, or?
Yeah, so I'm quite
Looks
curious.
like there was.
Hi, Bill. It's Christine. I just came on. Sorry.
Okay. Okay. Great.
So you guys can hear me
Christine's
all right
now
now?
present.
Or are you just talking over me, Bill? Could you hear me that whole time I was speaking, or could you not? I'm just curious.
Now I can hear you. I could barely hear you before.
All right, so
Yeah.
let me restart then, because CAP is a big company. They can organize themselves, as you guys could tell from the
I
paper.
heard all of that, but I couldn't hear your motion.
Sure, because I
Yeah.
just didn't know. It was all consistent right in the line, so I just wanted to make sure where we dropped off.
Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 towns,
Suckers paid them
or is it not 9? Yeah, 8 towns. They make up $108,000 of the local CAP budget. The rest of that is the federal. That's our local budget, which is going to be $236,000. But for some reason, we pay $12,000 for $262,000 worth of services.
Where do we get
Guilford
that?
has $270,000 worth of services for $10,000. This is a sheet that we are given.
I know, but where did those numbers come from? That's always what we asked them last year. That was the big part where we had a huge argument. Where is those numbers coming from? Like, where was those services broken down? Because they didn't break down those services last year.
Well, they usually broke them down for us before, but they didn't do that, right? We only have our services broken down. We have no other town services broken down. So we could request that to see if that would make us feel like maybe we are getting more services for our money, because Belmont gets $607,000 for $15,000. We're getting 262 for 12,000. Guilford gets $270,000 worth of services for $10,000, $2,000 less than we're paying. I'm just saying, I think this needs to be reapportioned according to the value of the services. Because just a couple of years ago, we were paying $24,000 because Franklin wasn't paying anything.
Yeah, and they came back with an appropriate
So,
asking for an appropriate number.
So it would be nice if we could know what the breakdowns were for these other towns for the services. I mean, I think it's important that we, is the senior center open now, or are we just doing the drop-off foods?
Mr.
Currently,
Chairman?
currently the senior
John?
center, currently they pick up the meals right now because of the COVID, but they also right now are providing transportation. They have a senior center bus that they take the people to the program, to the doctor's appointments, and also they are providing the volunteer driver program, which when they don't have a specific bus route to take them, they have individuals that they pay to bring them to doctor's appointments. And that's huge as well. That volunteer driver program is access to Tilton.
Does any other town receive that?
Yes.
Okay. Well, what I'd like to see is the breakdown that we haven't received this last couple of years, which I think Dick is asking for too, of the services, so we can compare services with what we're spending. That's all we want to see.
But we never
Janice,
get
do
it.
you think you can get them? Janice, do you think you could ask them for that?
Mr. Chairman?
I can't hear you. Could
I
you
can certainly-
unmute your? Okay, great. Because that's with the, apparently we have Alton, Barnstead, Belmont, Guilford, Gilmanton, Laconia, Samerton, and Tilton that are in the collective right now paying for the town's share.
Oh, we pay our fair
I don't
share.
know I don't know what happened to the other towns that, like Franklin and those guys. Are they going Franklin the Hill and Samberton? Who's funding them? Anybody know?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Yes, I just want to make something clear. They are not a company or a corporation. It's a nonprofit organization.
They're splitting hairs.
Yes, and they have a $24 million dollar assets in the total program, and we're a very small portion of that, but they get a lot of federal money.
$24 million. Oh my goodness.
And that includes fuel assistance.
But they service Belknap and Merrimack County. That's a lot of towns and cities.
Money, I hope they serve a lot of towns.
That's fuel assistance.
Right, we're just trying to see,
That's not just seniors.
and right, they have all those breakdowns that we'd like to see just to compare apples and oranges. If it sees that we're getting, adequate, it just seems in the past there hasn't been that much clarity to the budget process.
Well, let's get that
So
information.
okay, great. So we'll pass on them until we get that information.
A quick question though on that. Somebody, can I get that same
Sure.
form that they gave you the night they came? I guess. So I never got that because I wasn't there that night.
Yeah, that was sent later. I think. I think Janice, you sent us the breakdown of total services and the requested money.
Bill, could I add something to that?
Janice, would I be able to get that though?
Sure.
Yeah, I must have sent it on email, but I'll double check it. I'll get it back to you.
Oh, thank you so much, Janice. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Bill,
Go ahead,
as far as
Christine.
as far as asking for that information, we might want to say if they service all of, I'm not 100% who we're talking about, I think it's CAP, but if they service all of Belknap and Merrimack, they should be listing all the counties, all the cities that do not contribute anything, not just the ones who are contributing, so that you can balance your percentages of what services compared to everybody else.
Right, I am a little confused because last year we were comparing with Hill and Samberton and Franklin, and now we're in a whole nother area of the state.
So maybe they need to list, if they service Merrimack and Belknap, if they give us a list of who contributes, then we know all the other towns don't contribute.
Right, maybe we could get an expanded list, Janice, if that's possible.
I'll request that.
Thank you. Okay, so the next one I have is the Hall Memorial Library,
Okay.
and I don't really have a lot of
Bill?
information on that one. Yes.
At the last meeting, there was a request out to Hall Memorial Library for some additional information, which I have not received anything back from them yet.
Okay.
High, but maybe she was on vacation. I mean, they are the holidays and.
Okay, so we'll wait for that too. So that's Cap and Hall Memorial. We're waiting. Then I had the Pines. They had a COVID of 36,555. Their 2021 budget is 311 and 700. And right now it looks like their year-to-date revenues are 236,011 over 185, 137. Do we know if they're what their process is now with the latest COVID? Are they open?
I'm not aware.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, John.
Yep, presently they are open. I believe it was by appointment and also curbside pickup. And they've increased their availability of like online books and that.
Oh, I thought we were talking about the Pines.
Yeah.
But now we're into the Pines, John.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're skipping over the Hall Memorial because we didn't get all the information that we wanted.
Okay.
I mean, I think the Pines is a very important part of our community, and I don't want to unnecessarily burden them, but I'm just wondering what's happening with them.
I think we received an email that explained a lot of the stuff in the last couple days, and it seemed they had to refund. It was, I think, $10,000 worth of their daycare program, and they lost, I think it was 40 something thousand dollars in money that they received for that program. I think they're trying, like anybody else, doing what they can, but looking forward to next year. Things should be picking up as you know. I'm hoping as you know, as the COVID thing, people get immunized in that, and at that time, I think they'll be getting their money back for or on their daycare programs, which are going to be real essential as parents get back to work.
So
Yeah,
does anyone want to make a Yeah. What was that, Jess?
Was that something that was sent to the budget committee as well? I mean,
Yes, we all received, I think just a couple days ago, I think. Let's see, spreadsheet, a couple spreadsheets.
I was out of that.
I did see that, I think, but I think it was a while ago that we got the.
Was it?
I did not receive that. Can I receive that?
Bill,
Yes.
I've been driving, so I haven't had anything in front of me, but I think the question on the Pines was about what did they do with the PPP funds if they paid their people, and what did they do with the money that was allotted for the payroll? But I know John just said they lost all their income in daycare and whatnot. They had to give back, and so I'm not sure because I don't have it in front of me. I'm trying to get my computer going now that I've arrived home. So did they say what happened with that?
No, I don't remember. Did we ever get an answer to that, Janice?
everything I've received from any request has gone back to the committee. So I don't have a checklist of what the requests were and whether they went out to you, but you have everything that I've sent. But except for the Hall Memorial at this point. That's the only one that's still outstanding.
Okay, that one, we have some information we received on November 16th. The Tilton Northfield wreck.
Okay, yeah. Tilton Northfield Recreation Council. Okay.
And what was that, John?
They got 30,555 in. Oh no, that's his application in process. So that's not even. We don't even know if they actually got. They put application in for forgiveness. Okay, excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm just getting here. So they got 36,555. They got 56,000 from the state for child care recovery. And their additional expenses were the 10,000 refunds and 37. So they're still up, $86,000 or more. But I mean, when we were asking about this payroll and what they got for funds, we wanted to know what happened with the funds they would have allotted to that. And so far, everybody's not been clear on that. So they should have, $80,000, $86,000 that's to cover whatever loss of income and then some. So I don't even know what they did with this money, and that's the whole purpose of why we had to send out that additional form. What did they do with the extra money, and where is it? I do have to add on top of the Pines, I have never used the Pines, but I have been on the board since, I don't know, past few years or whatever, and they're very lax, I think, in helping, because of where they're located probably, as far as Tilton residents, they help more Northfield. I know this past year, the year before, they did give another grant because I had brought that up every time about them not really assisting Tilton, so to speak. So.
Well, what I'd like to do then is ask them for a year-to-date revenue and expense again. If Janice, you could just contact them to get it up to date through November, so we can see their balance sheet.
Right, and then we'll see where the funds are. Yep.
Yeah.
So you just want the revenue or an expense, or as Christina, you adding, you want the whole balance sheet?
Well, balance sheet is different than revenue and expense. So balance sheet shows assets and liabilities. The profit and loss, which is the second part, would be revenues and expenses. So I would say both, because the balance sheet will hold the bank accounts, and then the revenues and expenses would be on the other. So it's the balance sheet and profit and loss.
Yep.
Okay, that sounds good. All right, if we move on, there's Waypoint, which, did we vote that down already?
I couldn't find it in the minute that we voted on it.
Their current assets are $2,400,715, and their current liabilities are $2,510,377. They received $1,700,000 PPP. Their 2019 budget is $13,697,507. Their Lakes Region budget is $166,171. Their budget expense in the Lakes Region was $174,000, so they have an $8,000 loss. We didn't have really up-to-date figures, I don't think. I only had 2019 figures. I think, although their total budget for the Lakes region is going to be going up to $396,000. But I just had trouble navigating their finances.
On the form that they sent back to Janice, when they said how much they got for PPP, and they also got a foundation support for $108,000 for COVID-19, and they didn't even spend. They spent $129,000 on laptops, so everybody could work remotely. So that pretty much wipes out the $108,000. But they said in 2020 they're making money, but in 2021 they're anticipating to be stable. That's what it says on the sheet. And they're only asking for $3,000 from us. I mean, I don't know what that's going to do, but.
Well, no, I think they're another one. You know, they want to be engaged with us, and so that we know their importance. But I think if they've got $1.7 million PPP, they probably can use the 3,000 we give them from that.
Well, the PPP would have paid their payroll. We have to understand what the PPP does. So what did they do with the money that was out of their budget, supposed to be payroll? That's why they're making money.
Well, right. That's what the federal programs are making them much more viable. Any other discussion on that? I would move that we not fund Waypoint this year.
Second.
Any discussion?
Motion.
Hearing none, I will vote yes to that motion. Catherine?
Dawson, yes.
Who's next? Dick?
Doesn't look like he's on.
Okay. How about John Scanlon?
Your vote yes.
Ted? Still there, Ted?
Yes.
Okay. And Christine?
Nowitzki, yes.
Okay. I guess we have, that seems unanimous. Did we discuss the youth assistance program yet?
I thought we voted on and approved it.
Did we? Okay, yeah, I thought we might have, but I don't remember.
I think that was one
But
of
we
the
will.
first.
Hey, it's Ted. Sorry, I disconnected for some reason.
What was that, Ted?
I got booted off the conference for some reason.
Okay. Yeah, you now have a C instead of a T. So
Do you want to include Ted in the vote?
we will. Pardon me.
Do we want to include Ted in the vote? I mean, it's on the.
Oh, sure, Ted. I think Ted
He
already
voted.
voted. Yeah,
I think I already voted. It just
you did.
booted me out after I did vote.
Yeah. So you voted yes.
I think Dick Olson.
I'm sorry. I apologize. It is Dick. You're right.
Yeah, Dick. We lost Dick somewhere, but.
Sorry, I got Ted's vote.
No, Dick was
So
lost.
I think that's all. That's all I've got right now. Is there anybody that want to talk about anything about these other outside agencies?
I wouldn't mind if you kind of went through each one and just gave me a synopsis of what, sum it up to say what we're waiting for and what we did vote on. Hall Memorial is a wait, right?
Correct.
Right, Hall Memorial and the Pines. We're asking for a little more information.
Okay. Old Home Day is 3,000.
And also CAP, we're waiting for some information.
Okay.
I think we voted for some of these little guys already. We voted for Old Home Day.
Yep.
And Savina Hartwell, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And probably Park Cemetery.
That's the only one. Did we vote on Park Cemetery?
We did.
And that was full?
Yeah.
6,000?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, I just trying to keep track here. Lakes Region Planning, did we vote on that? We said 0, right? I have a line there.
Lakes Region. That's
Okay,
Lakes
so
Region
we
Mental
didn't vote
Health.
on that one.
Yep, that was.
Well, it says Lakes Region Planning Commission. What's that one?
I didn't even see that one here.
It's number 5 on the list.
What is it
And
again?
Lakes
Christine?
Region Planning Commission.
No, that's not on the list.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah, I have it's
selectmen.
number 5, and they asked for 3640.
Yeah, it's an
Oh,
outside agent.
21. Oh, okay. And the mental health, we did 500. Youth assistance was 0. 0 to
I think
Waypoint.
mental health. I think mental health we voted 0.
Oh,
Just voted
did we?
0.
We voted on it tonight and voted 0.
Oh, okay, so that was changed. Okay, all right.
$1 so we can keep the line open.
So I think we decided like New Beginnings, Lakes Region Mental Health, CASA,
Waypoint.
and Waypoint were so big and they had so many COVID funds that they could probably not miss us this year.
Okay.
And we voted yes on VNA already. And CAP, we're looking for a little more information. Hall
Yeah.
Memorial, a little more information. Pines, a little more information. So that's where we're standing right now.
Maybe if we could get an updated list of what we voted on. So this paper is a mess. Can
Right,
Janice
I know.
put
I'm
that
sorry that
together
I'm not
and
a little
send it out
more
to everybody?
organized. Yeah.
I'll get that put together and send it out to you.
Awesome, thank you.
So our next meeting is on December 16th with the police department.
Okay.
So we have their budget in hand, so everyone should go over that and get some questions. I know this
So we're
this
skipping
process
the
is a little unwieldy. But what was that?
We're skipping over the December 9th?
Yes.
Okay.
Unless you want to meet.
Well, I guess it would depend if we get the information we needed for these last 3. Otherwise, we can do it on the 16th.
Yeah. Or we
When
also
is
have
our-
January.
When is our first public hearing due?
First one is
That's
in, like,
usually
still a ways away, but it's in January. We have the date. I can provide that date via email.
okay. That'd be good. I have it somewhere.
Information as well.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, John.
I guess it's okay for a quick other business, just an FYI.
Sure.
In case anybody didn't notice, there was a presentation by Aflac on additional insurance that people could get, and it's also open to committees. So if anybody, I believe it's still open, and if anybody need any of that or additional information, that is available.
Could I reach out to you for that?
Thank you, John. Okay, so we're looking for the rest of information from other agencies. We're getting ready for the police, and then we're finalizing when our first hearing is. Anything else that comes to mind?
I can tell you that the last day for giving notice for a February 12th public hearing was February 5th. So that would be the very latest you could go, would be February 5th, posting a meeting for the 12th on the annual budget.
Does the municipal association still print that calendar for town meeting and whatnot?
That's what I'm looking at.
Yes, they do. And that's the copy that I have, Catherine. I just don't have it handy.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. It's on page 3.
Oh yeah, I have it. I have it here actually. So Friday, February 5th is the last day for giving notice of February 12th public hearing. So we need to have a hearing before that.
That's correct.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm all set if, unless anyone has anything else.
I was just going to add that I think I heard Ted ask who to contact for AFLAC. If you drop an email to our town administrator, Judy Forrester, just be able to direct you to the right person.
Thank you, Tim.
Tim, could I ask a question on that? If it's okay. Is there a video of the presentation available?
There is a recording. There is a recording. I have to think about where it is, but there is a recording, and I can send a link to the budget committee once I locate that, if you like.
Yeah, I'd appreciate that. Thanks.
Yep.
So I've got just a bit of housekeeping. The last minutes posted on the website for the budget committee were January 8th, 2020. I think we've met
What was
since
that
then.
again?
The last minutes posted on the budget committee website for the town of Tilton is January 8th, 2020. I believe we've met since then.
I think.
Okay.
Sorry to correct you, but I think if you refresh, you should be able to see up through June.
And we can get the other ones posted as well.
Not refreshing, must be my computer.
Atlantic Broadband's having trouble in the area tonight. I know that my home is down with internet.
Okay, not to be facetious, when are they not having trouble? Anyway.
It sounds like we want to meet early January to wrap up our presentation for the public hearing.
Are we?
Sound good?
Are we meeting one other day in December?
We're meeting the 16th with the police.
And then not until January?
And we still do.
I would think that would be good,
Okay.
and then just get the information that we need through emails from Janice.
Yep. To that point, Bill, I want to make sure my mic was on. To that point, Bill, I know we still have to line up like Lockmere to come in and speak. And I know that it was sort of decided that Tim would cover a lot of the department type budgets. Like Lockmere has to come in to make a presentation. Probably.
Okay.
And make sure that we have the people that the committee wants to have in front of them.
Okay, this might be difficult with this method, go-to-meeting method, but maybe we'll have to do that in the last week of December.
I was just gonna say, or ask, which departments, you'd like me to cover and when you're planning on voting on the, operating budget? What your timeline would be for that?
I would think we would do that in the first meeting in January.
We haven't even discussed it as a board.
Right.
Right, and that's what I'm at.
That's when we could begin the
Okay, so-
discussion.
So maybe we should meet next week with Tim. Go through the rest of the budget, the administration budget.
The administration portion of the budget?
Well, I can go
Well, no,
through
that-
any of the departments.
Go through the whole town budget here. Town of Tilton draft operating budget. Could you do that next week, Tim?
Yes.
When are we meeting with the PD?
The 16th.
16.
You can't go over the whole budget if you're going to talk to the PD after that date.
Right.
Well, we would go over all the parts except the police.
There you go. Sounds like a plan.
Okay, so we will meet next week. Same time, same channel.
Okay.
And yeah, just if you get a chance to go over that so you can get your questions for Tim. Janice, you could send out a reminder for us with that. That'd be great. That we're meeting next week.
Okay, yeah, sure. And to Tim's other question, do you want him to go over all of the other departments?
Yes. It looks
Thank
like
you.
a pretty good budget from me. I've already gone over, but I don't see a lot of issues. But
I will have an update for you on what we're planning with the note, the long-term bond. So I'll have that next week too for you.
okay, great. If we're all set, we can take a adjournment call.
I'll make a motion to adjourn. Scanlon?
Second.
All in favor? We'll roll call
Aye.
vote. Bill Arndt, yes. Catherine?
Yeah.
Scanlon, yes. Scanlon, yes.
John Scanton? Yeah.
And
Christine? Ted?
Yes.
And if Dick Olson's out there, is he still out there? Oh. Okay. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks,
I know
Bill.
it's tough with this
Thank you.
format, but thank you for your patience.
Nice job, Bill.
Thanks.
That's Fred.
See you next week.
Nice
Take
going.
care.
Okay, and any questions? Pardon me?
Bill, I was just gonna say, nice going. It's kind of like radio communications in a way, you know,
Yeah, right.
especially when the internet is busy at night or having trouble in the area, and not great. But yeah,
Right.
you do well, yeah.
But if
Okay,
anybody has any questions on my figures and stuff, you can always call me at the store.
Thank you.
thank you.
Thanks.